Hey everyone, you were just listening to an excerpt from an upcoming release by my Straight Up project titled Mixed Emotions. The track will be out in the middle of January 2023, and it features the great Eric Valentine on drums and Tom Barney on bass. Today's video, we'll be taking a look at how to use Audio-To-Midi to enhance the live performance. Specifically, I'll be adding a little snap to the kick drum that I'm not able to get through EQ and other kinds of processing. I work in Pro Tools, but the process is similar in many of the other DAWs available on the market today. If you like this video, give a thumbs up. For more content, please subscribe, and to be notified, ring that bell. Please leave any comments or questions down below. If you want to support the channel, you can buy me a cup of coffee. There's also a link for that in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching, and let's get right into it. Let's take a listen to the drum kit solo. And you can see here that there's 15, 16 tracks, then I've got a couple of submasters. So for our kick drum, we have our inside of the kick drum right here. And then we have the outside of the kick drum. Then we have just some of the lower frequencies. The kick drum is being processed through its own subgroup here. There's one other track I haven't talked about, and that's this easy drummer kick right here. And you can hear that there's a lot of snap to that sound. So if I solo the drums and solo the bass guitar, the drums sound great, but I'm missing the snap from the kick drum in order for that to cut through. The gist here is that the drum track that I got, the playing is fantastic, and overall the kit sounds incredible. But given how dense the mix is and everything else that's involved in this track, I wanted to add some snap to the kick drum, and I did that with this track. So you can really hear the difference, especially if you're wearing headphones. How did I go about doing that? I used Audio-To-Midi, and then I triggered Easy Drummer with the MIDI I created. We're going to go through all the steps that I did to get to this point here. So I'm going to mute this Easy Drummer track. Let me just make it inactive so we don't hear it at all. So what I want to do here is Command-Shift-N in Pro Tools, create a new stereo instrument track, and I'll call this MIDI Kick. Whenever you're doing a function on an audio track that has a corresponding MIDI feature to it, when you're quantizing audio using elastic audio, when you're transposing audio using elastic audio, it's best to prepare the audio track before you do the function, and it will give you the best results. I only want the kick drum. I don't want all that stuff that's happening in between, because those artifacts will actually become MIDI notes. I only want these kick drum notes. There's two ways of going about that. I could simply create a new playlist or duplicate playlist and edit that. But what I like doing is duplicating this track. And I'll call this kick in for MIDI. Right, I'll copy all that, and then I'll rename this track. And what I'm going to do is use strip silence, and I'm going to get rid of all the unwanted data. So let's do, right, and you see right there, I'm getting rid of quite a lot. And let's just do a little pad. I'd just like to get rid of some of the cross sticks, anything that's not the kick drum. Up and there. So we just got to do a little cleanup, right? I'm just going to quickly go through this and just get rid of some of those fills that are at the beginning there. Yeah, that's a tom-tom. We don't need that. Whoops. Now, you don't want to have that on the real track because having all that bleed is part of the glue that makes the kit sound really good. So we're only talking about just getting rid of what we don't want to end up in our MIDI track. So let's just do this much right up to the solo here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do grid, and I'm going to select from here all the way to where this starts, one measure before. Separate that out and consolidate that. So that's one track. And if we listen to that, right? So now I'll just take this and drag this into here. We have our Audio-To-Midi properties. So you've got all these different algorithms. So I'm just going to do percussive, hit OK, and it's looking pretty good. Now, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the duration of all those. And then I'm going to transpose all those so that every note is C1 for now. And then now if I go to Easy Drummer, mute this, and we have our Easy Drummer kick. Now that's not giving me enough snap there. Let's take a look at something here. Let's go to our MIDI editor and let's take a look at our velocity. And we can see that the velocity is very low, right? So that has to do with the amplitude of the track. What I can do is change velocity, and I can scale by, let's say, let's try 200%. That's not bad. Now you'll notice that it's accented. Let me just add another 15 to each note. Now that's too much if that was the only drum sound. What we want to do here is blend it in with the right amount of volume to all the other drums. There we go. See how that's getting there? I'll take this instrument track and commit it to audio, and then I'll do a few other adjustments after I finish with that. So here, you're not hearing anything, right? You're starting to hear it now, right? That might be too much, but I think you get the idea how I've got that snap. Let's bring it up a little bit more. Mute. See how it disappears? Back in. If you look here, you'll see that the volume of each note is similar between the two tracks, but you may have to go in and do some further adjustments. So let's take a look at that. You'll see right here, this one seems a little bit louder, so we might want to bring that down. All right, so you'll have to go through and fine tune it. It's also looking like the timing is a little bit off, which might cause some phasing issues, so let's adjust that. So with just a little bit of tweakage and a little bit of work that took me about under 10 minutes, I've added this MIDI kick, got the performance from the live drummer. I've just added a little bit of snap to the regular kick drum, and it really helps punch through and it makes the track much better. And that's a brief look on how to use Audio-To-Midi to enhance a live performance. It's amazing to me that just a tiny little bit of that snap really helped the entire track to groove and move along. For me, it was a noticeable difference that I not only heard, but I also felt. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment, please like, please subscribe. I've been Pete Calandra. Thank you again, and I'll catch you on the next one.